Welcome back to some new malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter, but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. The first story is called Sales Data Cycle. Years ago, I was a product manager in a small company. I'd moved to the job from a purely technical role and had a working knowledge of data analysis and statistics. Every year, one of our jobs was to prepare a sales forecast based on a company-driven sales goal. For example, a 5% increase for next year. This was back in the green bar line printed paper days, so any analysis was done by manually entering a metric ton of data into Lotus 123. As an aside, the sales forecast drove manufacturing resource allocation and employee hire levels, so it was kind of important to get it right. So hours of transcription later, I had 4 or 5 years of sales data for each product line in a way I could review. Turns out sales rates were totally random. We had no summer surge or winter doldrums. If some big customer popped an order, sales went up, otherwise they tended to oscillate around a monthly average. I took the historical data, combined it with the target increase and sent the forecast off to my manager. There's no cycling in the forecast. Well, no, our sales are basically static across the year, but there's no cycle in the forecast. There has to be cycles. We went round and round a bit, and he essentially told me to redo the forecast to be cyclic. Okay, Lotus 123 to the rescue. Below each monthly total, I stuffed in a random function and then a total for the year, so I could compare it to the target for the year. Refresh, 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 until I got a cycle and the totals matched. Print, send to the boss. Good job, dude. 2 kickers. The year-end totals pretty much matched my no-cycle forecast, and the manufacturing plant knew that the data was essentially flat. They had been doing this for a long time. They also knew that marketing was full of folks who wouldn't know data if it bit them, so they just built what they knew they'd need to build. Good times. Good times. The next story is called Expense Reports. I recently traveled for work. The first day at my hotel, I ate the hotel breakfast, which is charged separately from the room rate. It wasn't that great, so I bought some groceries and ate breakfast in my room for the rest of my trip. My company pays a per diem for food, with different rates depending on where you are. Spend more and you cover the difference. Spend less and you pocket the difference. You deduct any meals paid for already, for example breakfast included in hotel, lunch provided by a conference, etc. The amount of breakfast cost at the hotel was less than the per diem, so I just submitted the entire hotel bill and deducted breakfast that day from my claim. I thought I was good to go. I even left a comment in the comment box for that expense in the company software. Nope. HR denies my claim and tells me I cannot expense my breakfast at the hotel, which was on the bill as a separate line item. Okay, I'll comply. I simply deduct the breakfast from the hotel expense and add the standard breakfast rate to my meal per diem expense. HR approved that same day. It ended up being about $10 more in my favor. The third story is called Parenting Contract. After I had graduated high school 10 years ago, I was preparing to head off to university. My parents very generously had offered to fund the entirety of my college education. In return, all I had to do was sign a contract that had 10 rules I had to adhere to in exchange for their, again, quite generous funding. Some were basic and school related, about attending all my classes and maintaining a 3.0 GPA. Some were parent-son relationship related, like having 1 video call a week with them and promising to respond to all texts within 12 hours. Then there were the drug and alcohol related rules. Primarily, never drive after consuming anything, and never get in the car where the driver had consumed anything. I didn't really have any problems with the rules or contract, so all involved parties signed it and went on our way. College went off great, and the contract itself wasn't really ever mentioned after my junior year of college. Given that, I'm sure my parents both forgot about the contract, especially by the present day. This winter, we took a family trip to go skiing in the Rockies. We rented a nice townhome for 3 days and packed some legal THC to enjoy during our vacation. After getting home from the 3rd straight day of skiing, I immediately grabbed my pen to help relax my sore muscles. I end up sharing it with my mom, and the whole family has an enjoyable evening of cooking dinner, drinking some wine and hanging out as a family. Around 9 PM, the munchies start to hit my mom. She grabs a bag of chips from the kitchen, but it doesn't quite satiate her. We start talking about what we'd love to snack on, and the idea of ice cream really appeals to both of us. Why don't you take a quick drive to the store and get us some ice cream? I can't. Sorry. You just don't want to get up. No, I'm actually not allowed to. You won't let me. What are you talking about? You made me sign a contract, remember? No driving after smoking. The college contract? That was like 10 years ago. It never had an expiration date on it. I can't believe you're using my own parenting against me. We had a good laugh about it, which eventually caused my dad to come downstairs and see what was going on. He had a good laugh about it too, then went and got us our ice cream. A happy ending for all. The next story is called Eat Like a Dog. My sister was obsessed with 101 Dalmatians and decided that from the moment the film finished, the only way she was going to eat was like a dog. When I say she ate like a dog, I don't only mean that she lapped up her food with her tongue. She would not use any tables or cutlery and would only eat off the floor, couch, or wherever else our dog felt appropriate eating. My mom spent days convincing her that this was a terrible idea, telling her that she should eat at the table with the rest of the family. Eventually, my mom got sick of this and made a plan. If my sister wanted to eat like a dog, then she was going to really eat like a dog. And I'm sure you can see where this is going. My mom decided that my sister was now only going to be fed dog biscuits for every meal, until she figured out that being a dog wasn't all it was cracked up to be. To my sister's credit, she really managed to hold out for a lot longer than I expected for an 8-year-old. She held out for a solid day and a half before she decided that she couldn't do it anymore. Anyways, her favorite movie is Aladdin now. The last story is called Fake Orders. Years ago, I worked at Home Depot in the paint department and we did color matches. At the tail end of a busy night, someone comes in wanting a color match, which is no problem at all. However, this gentleman wanted a color match from a random Home Depot sign that was bolted into a metal counter. After I told him that there was no way for me to unbolt the sign to color match it, he got mad and said he would go to Lowe's because according to him they would do it there. My response was, so you are going to go to Lowe's to get a color match of a Home Depot sign that's bolted down inside of Home Depot? A few people in line laughed at him and he walked away. I get a call from a coworker who overheard the customer telling someone on their cell phone that they would place a large order closer to our close time and not pick it up. 20 minutes later he places an order for like 40 gallons and requested specifically that they be made in 40 individual gallon buckets rather than 8 5-gallon buckets. I grabbed a few cases of paint, but I didn't prepare any because as he promised he left without picking them up. Fast forward maybe 3 months later. I'm in Lowe's wasting time while my car gets fixed and I run into the same guy and it looks like he was the only person staffed in this big area of the store. I grabbed a shopping cart and started looking for items on the shelf without product. I made him follow me around and requested at least 2 cases of each item that was empty on the shelf. He had to get a ladder and a scanner and he was working up quite a sweat. I kept hearing him getting paged, but he had to keep telling the people paging him that he's still with a customer. After maybe 2 hours, my car was ready. I informed the employee that my car was ready and after doing the math, I'm going to get the supplies from Home Depot and advised him he could just put everything back. And I said that I'd tell management that he gave me great service. He had to get another ladder and put everything back up in the overheads because I had him get me more items than would go on the shelves. I ran into the same guy at my job a few months later and immediately took my lunch break. I informed management that under no circumstances could I assist him because I had personal issues with him outside of work. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And if you have time, watch another one of my videos. And now, I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.